Hi guys, so this is a bit of a different video because it's just me. So for those of you that are in a long distance relationship like me and Lauren, just to tell you how to get through problems and like little struggles and difficulties that come with the long distance relationship. At first you might find it fun, I guess, being in a relationship. At the start it's always fun. Then you realise that the distance is like the worst thing you could ever possibly imagine and you've got to deal with it. So yeah, with me and Lauren there was 212 miles between us at the start and it took 8 months really for us to meet. We'd been friends online for a year to the day that we met, so it was a really long time that we waited to meet. And in that time, yeah, we didn't really think it was gonna last. Like, we didn't think we were gonna meet, and yeah, we didn't think it was possible to like be where we are today. Like, a year ago I would never think that me and Lauren would be where we are now. Just gotta keep your head in a positive place and try and not forget that the distance is there, because the distance is what makes it special, but try to be as normal as you can in a relationship, because when you're together it'll be so different and it'll be so worth it. Not like true from the start, then yeah, it's gonna be so different when you meet. Yeah, I never say this, but when I met Lauren for the first time at college, literally the day I was meant to be meeting Lauren, everybody was telling me that she wasn't real and all this stuff, and I believed them. And I got pulled into a counselling meeting and got lectured about long distance and people online and like catfish. I just burped. Catfishes and stuff like that, and I was petrified, and literally my college told me that if I didn't have someone go with me, then someone from the college would have to go with me, and the police would be informed, because yeah, when I met Lauren for the first time, I was sat at the platform with my best friend, and well, actually we gone to the shop to get a drink because I was in the middle of a panic attack because I was that scared, and then we came back and we sat on the bench and a train pulled up and I was in so much shock. I seen Lauren's face and literally, oh my god, right, I don't say this a lot because I'm not that kind of person, but I seen Lauren's face and she was just so, like, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and yeah, I've never seen anyone like it. She was just so perfect, and literally I've never felt anything like this towards somebody else, anyone ever. Like, I could never imagine anything like this with anybody else. I don't say that a lot, never. Actually, I only told her that for the first time the other day. So yeah, don't let people tell you that it's not right, or that the person that you're in a relationship isn't real, or stuff like that. Like, just like make sure you and the person are, make sure that you FaceTime a lot, Skype, Snapchat, stuff like that, because that's the sort of stuff that brings you closer. And if you have any doubts about who the person is, then you know, because you've been like talking to them for so long, like face to face, and it would be so strange when they're stood right in front of you. Thing just about relationships in general, but especially long distance. When me and Lauren were friends, I was so quiet. Like at first I never spoke. Like I'd sit on Uvu, as it were, and I wouldn't speak. I'd just sit there and I just watch because I was too nervous to talk. And then after a while I started talking, and well, I was watching Boomtown, or was it Swingtown? It was Boomtown. I was watching Boomtown and Lana came on the telly and I started fangirling, and Lauren was just like in the corner all cute, and she looked at me in like a way nobody had ever looked at me before, and yeah, I knew then that I could be myself, I guess. Then I started talking and stuff, and then me and Lauren started like FaceTiming stuff outside of Uvu, and yeah, that's when we really got close, and I knew that we were like good enough friends for us to go into a relationship. Like I wouldn't go into a relationship after a few days. Like make sure we have like a good bond with the person before, because with a long distance relationship your friendship needs to be, and relationship needs to be so strong, because like there's no other test like the distance. And yeah, once you meet, it's weird to say, but it only gets harder. Like people say, oh, it gets easier, but leaving them never gets easier. The first time that we met and Lauren was leaving and we were at the train station and I turned into a wreck. Like I couldn't stop crying or anything. I had snot everywhere, tears everywhere. It was disgusting, and yeah, it was the hardest thing I'd ever done. And then the next time came and it was just as hard, and then the next time and the next time, and leaving never got easier. But then leaving doesn't get easier, but I guess kind of once you've seen each other once, it's easier to see each other again afterwards. So like leaving doesn't get harder, but seeing each other gets a lot easier. Yeah, so the distance doesn't become as much of an object, and once you've met them, like your relationship just gets stronger from then, I guess. Not again. Why am I so gassy? Thing that I said, going back to what I said earlier, about making sure you Skype and stuff and being positive and FaceTime, yeah, and stuff like that. Make sure when you're on FaceTime you ask questions like how was your day, and make sure you always think of positives, like 2 things that were good about their day. And when you've not met already, do like little FaceTime dates and stuff. Like me and Lauren all the time used to FaceTime and watch a movie together. Usually Mamma Mia, because that's the only movie I ever watch, but usually we used to FaceTime and then have a date and watch a movie. and it was really fun. And it's just a fun way of having a time together even when you're apart. That was one of my favourite things when we were. And another thing is, always make sure you have time for each other. So when you're in a long distance relationship, there's not a lot of time that you can spend together. So when you do have time together, make sure you spend it properly, I guess. Don't waste your time doing things that you're gonna regret doing. Me and Lauren never go to the cinemas. We barely get to see each other as it is, so why would we spend 2 hours in the dark and not be able to talk to each other? So yeah, don't waste your time doing things that you are gonna regret in the past.